Okay. How about journal? Journal entry also very simple. Oh. Just now we see the cash book entry is something to do with bank and cash. Journal is everything except debtor control account and stock account. What I mean is, why I say except. Okay. Sorry. When we create a journal, right? We can select any account we want, right? But there are two types of account you will find it missing here. One is what? Company ABC is not here, right? You cannot select customer. Debtor control also cannot. I think you cannot find debtor control. You see, if you type anything on debtor, other debtors can, because other debtors is not what? If you go to see at this point, other debtors, where is other debtor? Other debtor is this one, right? It's not a special account, you see? It's not a debtor control, right? So other debtors you can select. But if you want to select customer like just now or company ABC, right? No, you cannot find it. So debtors, creditors, you cannot select inside the journal entry. And then you cannot select stock account as well. What are the stock account? Stock account is right. Okay, just I didn't show you which are the stock account, right? Okay, go to account maintenance. Here you can find those stock accounts. Basically, there are three accounts that are considered as stock account. One is the opening stock. Okay, opening stock. Another one is the closing stock account. Another is the balance stock account. So these three accounts, right, are stock related account. I cannot direct use journal to adjust the amount here because the stock value it must maintain in somewhere, which I'll show you later. It must maintain somewhere, and it must it must maintain the inside something called stock value maintenance. Actually, you'll find inside, or later I'll show you. So these are the three that you cannot select. What impact will it make if I cannot select these three? Means sometimes audit want to adjust certain accounts that relate to debtor, then you cannot adjust. Or direct relate to stock, you cannot adjust using journal. You need transaction. It doesn't mean that AutoCount cannot do. Like that, how I cannot do? No. It can do. You need other ways, okay? Other ways to do it. Okay, so how do I do journal? It's very simple. As long as, why? As long as debit credit balance, as long as it must be balanced. If it's not balanced, then you cannot save. For example, I want to adjust something like depreciate my value of vehicle depreciate. So I put the depreciate account motor vehicle, and then after it depreciate, go to my expenses, right? Which expense? Let me see. Again, I'm not account based. My account may be wrong. So here is the expenses account of the depreciation. Okay, so I select the account first. Then how do I do the depreciation is, let's say this car motor vehicle depreciate 1,000. So I put in 1,000 and then the debit 1,000. Okay. So that's how it works. So you, of course, in real life, it won't be so simple to account. Sometimes you involve quite a lot of accounts. And sometimes you may involve accounts like, let's say one account like bank, maybe adjust again with other expenses, or you can have like a lot of accounts at the bottom and one debit. In real life, you have this case. So let's say here I put 1,000, 5,000 into the bank, and then here maybe I each got 5,000, 1,500. Okay, why this one is a bank again? So this one maybe I put somewhere else. Example, just example. Okay, 2000. Oh, so you can have many accounts to one. Oh, but as long as both sides are balanced, what it means both sides balanced means you need to have debit and credit. They are both balanced. Otherwise, let's say this 1,500. If I try to save this right, then the system will say, oh, your journal not balanced. Oh, so if I save right, no, journal entry not balanced. Okay. So if I want to save this transaction, then I have to save it to, I have to make sure I can make it balanced. But sometimes doing journal entry is quite headache. Oh, how come cannot balance? Then this is when I can save it to a draft. Okay, save it to a draft. So later on, maybe I cannot solve the equation. I cannot get it balanced. But I also don't want to cancel it, right? If I cancel it, it means next time I come back, I'll do. Sometimes you can find the customers. Next time you see customer account book, you see their journal is a few hundred lines or even thousand. I don't know. I haven't seen thousand, but I've seen few hundred lines. Oh, it's very long one. So what you do is you save as draft. Okay, next time, how do I call back? How do I recall back that journal? And so I go to tools. I don't know, is it there? Or, wait, let me see. Where is it? Or open KLV folder. Oh, so go to tools, right? And then open KLV folder. Then you'll find that journal inside there. Or another way is you log in. You log out, when you log in, right? It will prompt you and saying, hey, there are some document unsafe inside the KLV. Means that's the draft, that's the draft. So what I do is I open the KLV and then I can reopen the journal again. So once I reopen the journal, how can I go into the back? Okay, so you see, this is the journal, right? So I can, then maybe I realize, because this one is not 1,005, this should be 2,000. So I just put it back and then just save. Okay. So that's how we can do the cash book and the journal. Okay, so that's I think that's all for this morning session. Oh, opening balance. Okay, opening balance is also quite important. I think I better cover first. Okay, what is the opening balance for? Anyone don't know? Everyone know? Anyone don't know what is opening balance? I show your hand if anyone don't know. Everyone knows. So okay, we can rest now. What is opening balance? Because I ask everyone know, nobody want to show hand, but I ask everyone don't know, everyone also don't show. So okay, actually it's something to do with what? Something to do with our fiscal year. Just now I mentioned, I promise you, right? I promise you I will tell you what is current year. All right. So you see, when we maintain the opening balance, we need to know the current year is tick at which year. Because if we stick at 2021 and then we go and maintain 2022 opening balance, then your account will be wrong. You get what I mean? So before you maintain the opening balance, we must know the fiscal year, the current year is tick at which period. And then when we see is tick at which period, then we see what is the start date. So once we know the start date, right? Opening balance means the closing date of December 31st, 2021. Means my financial year until the 2021 December 31st is what is the balance. Usually you got something called what? Balance sheet, right? You go to GL balance sheet statement, or then I'll check what is the balance of all my balance account. So that means when I maintain the balance sheet, I need, maybe not from this account book, maybe it's from another account book or another system. I need to have the balance sheet of that account. So if now I don't keep open balance, that's why everything is zero. So let's say I got the figures inside this balance sheet. Then based on that balance sheet of the closing of the balance sheet, the balance sheet of the 31st December 2021, based on that, I will come to this opening balance to maintain the balance here. Okay. So how do I maintain? I just look at the balance sheet and maintain. Debit or credit, you just maintain here. Let's say this one got 10,000, I put, got 5,000, I put 5,000 here. And then maybe I put in I got some furniture here that has the value, when I purchase, the value total is 3,000, maybe. No depreciate yet. Office equipment, maybe. Office equipment, maybe 5,000. Okay. Office equipment, maybe 5,000. Okay. Motor vehicle, maybe 20,000. Computer equipment, 8,000, and so on now. So that's how I maintain. If previously I got some depreciate before, then where do I key? Then I key here, 200 and things like that. So the total depreciate. Because balance sheet is carry forward. You always carry forward for balance sheet. So your reserve, your retained from last year, your profit and loss from last year. But everything you see at keying, you may ask, hey, why so troublesome? I have to go to one by one to key. Why not I just keying one lump sum at this parent account? We call it parent account, or the group account. Why not I just keying a lump sum? I don't have to go one by one, right? So troublesome. So, but that's a problem. We cannot key in at the parent account. You see, I try to type something which that account contains any sub account, right? I cannot write or key in any value into the parent account. Okay. So the account that allows me to enter the balance, it must be always a LIV account. LIV account. What is LIV account? You know, LIV is a branch from it's from a branch, right? Until the LIV is at the end of the part. So that's what we call LIV account. Is when you got a branch come out with many branches, you got parent, and then at the end, LIV means from this LIV you cannot have branches anymore. So that's why we call LIV account. So this LIV account means there's no more child. In other words, you say child, there's no more child or children, then we can create the, we can only key the balance. Okay. Okay, so same thing, we have to maintain it until the two debit credit side are both balanced. If not balanced, right, you can see at the bottom here, or some cash file can see very small red color wordings here. Here, there's the difference. That is not balanced. So we have to make sure we can make it balanced. Okay. So basically, this is a simple, basic, I would say, basic way of maintaining the opening balance. But later on, if you comes to, you got project, you got department, then that's a very tedious job to maintain opening balance. But this part, you must always remember, as long as you know the basic, then later even customer got project or anything, later I'll show you the project one, you won't be so confused. Important is very same. The all objective is very same. You need to have a balance sheet of the closing in order to maintain the opening. If today you are first day start business, you have no closing, you don't have then you don't have opening okay, you get what I mean? Okay. So thank you for your time. If you like what you learned today, hope you can see you again at 2 o'clock. So we have one and a half hour rest. If you don't like the class today, we'll see you next time. Okay, someone asked about what is RCHQ. RCHQ, right? Inside the payment, let's say the receipt payment, you see there's a column called RCHQ here. Oh, so this one is the return check. So if I take the return check, let's say I got assume this one is a check now, and this is my check number. Okay, so sorry, I better go back to cash flow entry. Cash flow entry here. Okay, I think I take the OR 101. Assume this one is a check now. Okay, just assume it's a check. Okay, this check number, right? If let's say this money is bounce, so I can just click this is the return date, and of course, sorry, return check, and then this is the return date that I have to specify when it was returned, maybe on the 15th or something. Then you'll find this return check inside appear in your ledger. I mean your bank now, bank ledger. This one is debit, and then you credit back the 10,000. So if I now go to take a look at the ledger, okay, until today's, right? Just now I put 15. Was it 15? I think you include. So we look at the bank account, cash at bank. This is the check, right? This is a check. So initially I debit the 10,000, and then when I activate the return check on the 15th July, then you credit 10,000. So that's how the return check works. So now we are going into the foreign currency now. So how do we create the foreign currency for our different customer in different currency? And when we talk about debtor, actually the creditor also the same. So first thing, we need to make sure we got the multi-currency enabled. Okay, for basic edition, you get to have the multi-currency. But of course, later you get to see something like advanced multi-currency and so on. But now we only look at the basic part. Okay, so once I enable or check the multi-currency, I go back to the debtor maintenance. Now you see this customer is MYR. MYR. Okay, now if I want to create another currency for I want to create a customer in USD. So what I do is I go to general maintenance. Okay, same thing, currency maintenance. As you know, most of the maintenance you search under general maintenance first. But of course, there are certain exceptions. Okay, later you know which are the exception one. But mostly you just come to general maintenance and currency maintenance. Here you see the first currency code that I already created during when I create the new account book, right? When I create a new account book, it already because I wanted MIR as my home currency, as my local currency, as my what else? Home, local, and what? Okay. Wow. Okay, so local currency, home currency, and also the other I don't call it. Okay, but mainly usually you hear people home currency and local currency. So usually this currency you see the rate is 1, right? The rate of course is 1 because that represents this account book. Any amount that you see, like if you see 5 ringgit means 5 ringgit, it cannot be 10 ringgit or something like that, right? 5 means 5 ringgit. But now I create USD. Okay, I put in the USD code. Symbol you can put same as well. Doesn't matter now. This should be the same. Last time I think symbol you got something like that. I'm not sure. Maybe something like that. So currency word for USD, US dollar, right? Okay, what you need to put here right now is important is the buy rate, sell rate, and also the accounts for gain, loss, and the journal. If I don't put anything as safe, right, it will get error, right? So before that, I'll just put the currency code first. I think the currency code is easier. So you type gain on foreign. Okay, that's the code. And loss, you type loss on foreign exchange. That's the item account code. So in default, right, the chart account already contains this account. So no worries. How about the journal? Journal is usually should be general, huh? Because it's not a bank transaction, it's not a sales, it's not a purchase, it's a general account transaction. So we choose general. So okay, now we have to decide the rate. USD now the rate is how much? 4 point. If we use Ringgit Malaysia to buy USD is 4.2, 4.25. 4.5. Never mind. We put 4.2. Doesn't matter. So when we sell, if we got USD, we are holding USD and we sell it to the bank. Oh, sorry. Bank buy rate. Bank buy rate is bank buy from us. Bank buy from us usually is lower. So bank sell rate is bank sell the USD to us. So it's 4.2. So the meaning is bank buying from us is 4. Bank sell the USD to us is 4.2. Okay. I think right. If I'm wrong, let me know. Okay. So now if I go to data maintenance, I create a customer. Let's say I call this US customer. Okay. So remember, I want to change the currency of this customer. Okay. So basically, I'm done. All right. If you want to change all the other things, you can change. But the key point now is the currency is USD. So save. So what is the impact if I now got MIR as in currency, and then I got USD in currency for my customers? If I go to create any transaction, you see what's the difference, Okay, now I'm looking at the AR invoice. AR invoice, I create the invoice for US customer. Okay, maybe I show you the MIR first. Maybe just now you forgot, right? Okay, I show you the MIR first. Okay, see, you can spot the difference. Now as the letter is Malaysian Ringgit, which is local currency, right? Okay, later when I show you the foreign, the USD, I want you to find out what's the difference. Something to do with the UI. Okay, so I save this. And done. Okay, can you find the difference? Okay, before I select, I let you see one more time. Before I select. Okay, now I select the USD customer. What's the difference? Okay, I put same 100. What is the difference? Can you spot the differences? Okay, I open back the new. Okay, now I compare side by side. Can you see the difference? The customer using is USD and the customer in local currency, which is Ringgit Malaysia. What is the difference? The UI, any difference? Currency rate, yeah, you see the currency rate, right? And it shows you this customer is in USD. That's one thing. Another, any other? You have spotted the first one. Hey, you know the game, right? Picture, you see the two. What is the difference? Everyone very good one, right? If you can spot in 5 seconds, right? That means you are very intelligent. Nowadays we play that, right? You see, there's another one that you see is at the bottom. Can you see that? At the bottom, right? Here and here. So you see, if your customer selected is not the local currency, other than local currency, in other words, means you get to see the local amount. Because what you see here, right, is the USD 100. Oh, and then you see this one is USD 100 also. Hey, sorry, this one not USD 100. This one is Ringgit Malaysia 100. But since it's the local currency, so it doesn't have to convert to local. So it remains as the subtotal remains at 100. But this 100 is different meaning. This 100 is not the local currency, it's not Ringgit Malaysia 100. This 100 is the USD. So you need to have a local subtotal here. Okay. So the rate here, you are able to select from the range. If you have different date range, different currency rate, you can actually maintain at the currency maintenance. And here you can, if you know, some people will just key in here. For example, now I know my rate is 254, 258, something like that. So I can just key in here. Okay, the common question here is customer always say, hey, I want the longer points. Sometimes I heard a customer ask for 12 digit, which is very long. So how do I control that? How do I set, I want longer digit or longer decimal for my currency rate? But usually it's up to 8. Common one is up to 8. I don't know why some will ask for longer. So where do I set that one? We go to tools option. Anything that we want to change the decimal point setting, we go to tools options. Okay, and then under tools option, we look for decimals. Yes. Okay. So you see there are many settings here for the decimal points, which you got quantity, your selling price, your purchase price, your cost, your percentage, currency decimal, okay, currency decimal, and then currency rate decimal, that's what we want, right? So here is only 6 decimal points that we set in the system. And now if we want to set it higher, let's say to 12. Oh, 12 is the maximum. So now we can actually hit 12. But let's say if my maximum is up to 8, also can. But auto count, you can set up to 12, okay? So 8, I want to increase to 8. Okay, that's fine. Now if after I change, right? Now I go back to the USD. Just now I can key up to 6 digit only. The decimal now, how come 4.25, 6, 7. Okay, 6. Oh. How many digit already? Yeah, 1, 2, now it's 6. Now it's 6, 7, 8. Okay, I put one more 9. See what happens. I put one more 9. But you're still truncate. Still up to 5 only. Really need, oh, maybe, you're right. Yeah. Some setting need to read in. Okay, USD. Now you see, okay, you get, well, how come so many? More than I thought. But the point is how the save, right? How many digits you can save. So now it's 2, 5, 6, 5. I put 1, 2, 3 easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9. Okay. Save. When I open back, right? It's still 9 or then the digit stay for what? The digit call support. Yeah. Currency maintenance. Let me see how currency maintenance. Let's say here I edit. Okay, here you got the bank buy rate, right? Yeah, I think it's here. It controls here. You see here got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No? So it controls here. And then if you go, just now I mentioned you can have different time frame, different rate. So that one is if you select the currency US and then click this button, currency rate. Then from here you can add the range of the date. Let's say today is 9, right? Last week, okay, I said last week, 1 until 8, until yesterday. Let's say the rate is 4.5. Hey, this one is bank buy, right? Bank buy 4.0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 7, 8 lah. Okay, then we buy, bank sell means we buy is 4.5, 6, 7, okay, something like that. Okay, now if we go back, we go with set until yesterday, right? Okay, now we go back to the invoice. Then if we select the US customer, okay, today dates, right, is still 4.2, correct? But now if we can either select here the rate of yesterday or we change the date. So if we change the date to, let's say, 8th of August, then you see whether the rate will change or not. Oh, no, it changed already. So this is how the currency works. You can monitor the rate and also the local. These are the few points which is you need to careful. And there's one more thing that you may or may not notice is there's a change button here. Do not use this if not necessary. You do not use this. There's a special reason, but we don't simply go and change. Okay, why? Because this $100, right? when we use this conversion rate, right, you get this amount in local This amount in local is 456.69. That's the local But sometimes, right, somehow because when we make payment, after we make payment, right, here will forever remain 1 cent. So, but actually to your customer or to the account is supposed to be clear already, supposed to be 0, because that 1 cent is due to the currency exchange. You will get gain or loss or things like that. Okay. So in that case, right, what we can do is we notice actually the rate here, because of the rounding and so on, right? This one should be 8. Then only I change it to 8. Okay. Other than that, I don't think we should simply just change the calculation here, because there's a balance. Sometimes it causes some balance problem. Maybe some people change a lot, then you have tally problem balance. Okay, so this is don't use if not necessary. Now we want to, after we do the invoice, right, we usually want to make payment. So how do we make payment? We go to AR payment, receive payment. We are talking about creating a payment for our customer. Okay, can we do that payment at GL cash book entry? Can or not? Technically can, but it's actually equal to we come here to create. You know what I mean? So it's a shortcut. Remember when we create new the cash book, right? We cannot use the new receipt voucher because there's no customers to select. We must use the AR payment. But when we use this button, new AR payment, it's actually creating the transaction inside the AR payment here. Okay, so you get what I mean? So do you notice or not? Just now we got two official receipts created inside the GL cash book. But then in AR receipt payment, we don't see, right? We don't see these two OR, right? Because these two OR are not related to any customer transaction. That's why we don't see these two OR. But now I'm going to create the AR payment here, and we see what happened. Okay, now I'm going to make a payment for company A. Okay, company A, there are two invoices. One is both are $100 in Ringgit Malaysia. So when I make payment that time, not I make payment, I receive the payment. This one is a receipt from our customer. So let's say I receive a $100 and $100. We receive $100 cash. Then I put the then I need to knock off. Why I need to knock off is to clear the outstanding of that invoice. Because if I don't clear, right, this update to account, there's no mistake, there's no wrong, it's correct. The account, in terms of account, is correct because this amount will go to my bank. Okay, but if I want to know this customer still owe me money or not, if we look at the balance, also correct. Okay, means the money also correct. But today the customer still owe me 100. If I don't knock off the 100 here, and when I look at the report, customer owe me 100 correct. But this 100 is belong to which invoice? I don't know. Right? I wouldn't know unless I do something about this 100 to knock off which invoice. So if I knock off this invoice 2, then I know in the report when you say this customer still owe me 100, that 100 is invoice 4. So the knockoff, the purpose of the knockoff mainly is because we want to clear the invoice that already has the payment. That's the purpose. Okay. So once we're done, we just save. So done. Okay. Okay, now you notice or not? I purposely leave the big screen and small screen. The small screen is at the front is the AR payment. The big screen behind is the cash book. What I just did was I created the AR payment in the small screen, the small window. The AR payment is in the small window. But you notice this small window AR payment OR003 appear behind the cash book as well. Oh, you see, it also appear the OR0003. So in other words, anything that there's a sequence, later on you understand at the sales invoice and AI invoice as well. Okay, there's a sequence here. Flow, not sequence, sorry, there's a flow. We got GL, right? All right, then we got AR, and then we got AP, right? So any transaction under AR will update into GL. Okay, then any transaction now AR, credit note, AR, payment, it will all update to GL. But any transaction under GL like cash book, journal, okay, journal entry, it won't go backward. That's why when we do journal, we cannot select customer. When we do journal, we cannot select creditor. Why? And we cannot select stock. because all direction flow is from here to here. It does not go the other direction. But now in newer design, we're trying to do that. But I don't talk about new design first. We talk about the original design is all flow of transaction is from the higher to the lower. It doesn't go this way. It doesn't go from lower to higher. Okay. So if you remember this relation, then when you create transaction, you know when you ask a question and say, when I create sales invoice later I'll tell you what it is. It's something to do with item. Now I just mentioned first, something to do with item sales invoice. When I create sales invoice, do I need to create AR invoice to update the account? Yes and no. Yes is I need to create AR invoice, but I don't need to create it. What does it mean? Okay, again, the question is, when I create sales invoice, in order to update the account or the GL, do I need to create AR invoice? Yes, I need to create AR invoice. When I create sales invoice, I need to create AR invoice in order to update the account, the GL. But do I need to enter it? I don't need to enter it because when I create the sales invoice will automatically create the AR invoice for us. You get what I mean? But if I create AR invoice, will there be a sales invoice? No, because it doesn't go the other direction. So when we create any transaction in AutoCount at the higher level, let's say the level is from GL up to stock sales invoice, it always go up, right? But it doesn't go back, huh? So that's the concept you remember. Then don't worry, you'll see again very soon. So now the payment I make is for the local currency. What about if I make the payment is for the USD? Okay, so same thing, I select the USD customer. So once I selected the USD customer, you see the rate all filling for me. If I make the payment, the rate is 4. See what happened. Okay, will there be difference between the currency, the local currency? There will be difference, right? There will be difference. Okay, so now I make payment or receive payment in USD. So this USD, let's say I receive 100. Okay, then I knock off the this invoice. Okay, I knock off. Okay, you remember this invoice? The rate was how much? 4.123456789, right? But this rate is 4. So if I knock off this invoice, right, I will be gaining or losing. I will be lost, right? Because here I receive less, right? I receive less because only 4, yeah, receive less. So okay, if I save, okay, you see, the system will prompt me and tell me, my invoice is 100 and then I pay 100 in USD, correct? But in terms of the currency conversion, the gain loss, I will lose $12.35. Okay, you get what I mean? Anyone need to go further than that? So the system will calculate for me. How the system calculate is very easy. You take the local currency at the invoice and the local currency at the payment, you minus, you'll get this amount, negative 12.335. Okay, I save it. Okay, once I save, right, that it will also auto create the gain loss inside my GL, so I don't need to worry about it. All created, and that is when we got one very good features that you want to find out is, I think we were one of them that earlier did these features, and nowadays people are doing it also lah. That means if you drill down to the, I mean, if you open up the transaction window, right? If you go to where are you? Edit go to edit here, and then you see there's a view posting details. So from this view posting detail, because on this screen I cannot see clearly, there's gain loss. There's no gain loss. But if I go to edit view posting details, now I can see. This is one of the features that people who doing account is very useful, right? So they can actually identify this summary, kind of like summary report on the posting of this transaction, so they can identify whether this transaction is correct or not. It's very important, this information. So there are 3 accounts involved. One is the customer, one is the bank, one is the lost foreign exchange. Okay. Now the question is, how does the posting know the loss on foreign exchange? How does it know that the loss on foreign exchange account is 908? How does the system know? Remember where we said? Remember? The currency maintenance, right? That's where we said. We go back to general maintenance, currency maintenance. This use, because it's a USD. So USD just now we said the currency loss account is 908. So this is the information we need to know. Okay.